So I am going to make some of Joe's training bars, and one thing you'll know or you'll notice about Team Joe Barr, Joe doesn't use any performance gels that a lot of other cyclists would use. And gels come in little packets, and they deliver usually about 22 to 30 grams of pure, simple sugar in one dose. Now, you do need carbohydrate and you do need sugar when you ride your bike, but we prefer to get it using whole unprocessed foods. So I'm going to show you one particular bar that we make for Joe. Joe will race on both the date squares and this particular bar, and it comes from a recipe book called Oh She Glows, and it's really good for guys too. It's Oh He Glows as well. So I'm going to walk through the ingredients for you now. This is a no added sugar, no need to cook, easy, super tasty recipe that I guarantee you all of your family will love, particularly your kids. Okay, so it's an oat-based bar like all the best granola type bars are, and I'm going to use 2 of the White's Oats products for this one, both the jumbo oats and the fine cook oats. I like the jumbo oats because it has a larger surface area, so the complex carbohydrate tends to break down even slower, and that's a good thing when you kind of go the distances that Joe goes. And then the fine cook oats provide that little bit of texture and the smoothness, and it absorbs the ingredients, the fluid ingredients, and I like that when it comes to binding and holding the bar together. So we're going to use a mixture of the jumbo and the fine cut oats. We have 2 different kinds of nuts in this particular bar. You have your pecans and you have your pumpkin seeds. Now, all nuts are really high in both essential fatty acids and your monounsaturated fats as well. And these are your healthy kinds of fats. When you think of carbohydrate, carbohydrate does one thing. It provides fuel, it provides energy for your body. But fats and proteins are essential building blocks for your body. So nuts are a great way to get healthy fats into your body. Also very good for athletic performance because they do provide fuel, particularly when you go the distances that Joe goes. The only fruit in this particular bar are cranberries, and cranberries are, when it comes to berries, they have the highest level of antioxidants of any berry. So that means it's going to protect your cells from the normal wear and tear of life. They're also quite low in sugar, so they have that tart taste. And of course, we women know that cranberries are so good for our urinary health, and they have a particular plant-based compound that prevents any bacteria from adhering to the lining of your urinary tract. So then we go, our 2 fluid binding agents are going to be the smooth almond butter and brown rice syrup. Now, when you go to the grocery stores, I bet you won't find brown rice syrup. So I can't either, but I do send away for it, and it's worth it. The brown rice syrup creates a really malty, lovely taste for the bars. You will find that honey is too sweet. Honey has fructose in it as a sugar. Brown rice syrup has maltose, which eventually breaks down to glucose. But other than this, there is no added sugar. Then you have your cinnamon and your vanilla essence for flavoring. And we mustn't forget, good old Rice Krispies will give that little bit of crunch, and that's okay because every bar needs a little bit of crunch. So those are my ingredients. I am going to go ahead and pull the recipe together now. So I'm going to start with my jumbo oats, and I'm going to go with 1 cup of jumbo oats, and the recipe will be below. And then 1/2 cup of the fine cut oats. You can really see the difference in how the oats are cut, and it is that jumbo flake when it comes to performance that I'm really interested in. Little things like this make a difference when it comes to performance, when it comes to feeling fuller for longer and for that release of carbohydrate. Okay, let's stick with our grains and get our Rice Krispies in there. We're going to go for 1/2 cup. Yes, you can use your pure rice puffs. I don't think it tastes as good as Rice Krispies. Now I'm going to go for a quarter of a cup of these beautiful pumpkin seeds. And pumpkin seeds, when it comes to seeds, are really high in zinc. Zinc is such an important nutrient for your immune system and for so many other parts of your body. There's the cranberries go in. See how simple this is already? And I love something I don't have to cook. There's a teaspoon of cinnamon, and yes, I use my hands a lot in cooking. Now, I'm just going to move that slightly over there. We're going to go for half a cup of pecans. These have to be chopped, so I'm going to use my fancy chopper. I used to just do it with a knife, but oh my goodness, did that ever take some time? Yeah, you don't have to film all of that if you don't want to. Trust me, it's going to take a while. The half cup of pecans are now going to go into a dry pan for roasting. Please don't do what I normally do, which is turn back to do something else, smell that my nuts are burning, and miss that. It's a really easy thing to miss. I can't tell you how many times. Now, I'm going to do our wet ingredients, and that's the mix of brown rice syrup and the almond butter. Now, brown rice syrup, I need half a cup of this. And look at that beautiful multi kind of color. I have tried to make these bars with honey and they are just simply too sweet. So this is a really nice alternative. Yes, it's still sugar. There's no added sugar other than that. And these bars, we are looking for that mix of complex carbohydrate from the oats with the simple sugar from the brown rice. So that's a half a cup there. And then a quarter cup of smooth almond butter. Just check my nuts. You could use a smooth peanut butter, smooth cashew nut butter. And what I'm going to do with this pan now is I'm just going to slowly heat that until it becomes one smooth paste. Okay, so I can tell those nuts are going to, I can smell them most importantly, but you can see that they're starting to toast. So I'll do that just a few seconds more. They are so easy to burn, guys. So this is the mixture of the brown rice syrup and the almond butter. And I'm just going to stir that until it becomes smooth. And then the heat is just going to relax that. So it's more fluid and you're able to work with it. So this is nice and smooth. I mean, it's sticky, don't get me wrong, but that's the kind of consistency I'm looking for. Now, this is the bit that takes a little bit of time. You need to work this in really well. Every once in a while, scrape that down. And you can see that the wet mixture is starting to have an impact. And you might, a few little bits might escape from the bowl. That's okay. And it's starting to come. So I'm going to put a teaspoon of vanilla in. Now, not everyone likes vanilla, so that is optional. And you can see I've been working away at this. That is the kind of consistency you want for a bar that's going to hold together. Now think about it holding together in the back of Joe's pocket. I'm going to wrap that bar from the back of Joe's pocket, or wrapping it for your kids going to school. That's the kind of consistency we need. Now, you're going to take your 9-inch pan and grease-proof paper. And just dump that in there. Now, I'm going to make sure I get all of that. It is sticky, but that is okay. Now just work it into the corners. And there's a trick coming up. It's pliable at this point, and the color should be even. Now, that has worked well. We now need to get it really flat. So I use this and press it really flat. You need to get something, you know what will work really well is like a jam jar. You can roll it as well, but anything to get it really flat and just press it down. This is what makes all the difference. I'm going to show you. So that side is pressed down and this side is not being pressed down. So you've got to really work hard and keep pressing it down, because this is what is going to hold your bar together. You don't have a lot of ingredients. The oats absorb all the nut butter and the brown rice syrup. And you want that because you want these bars to hold together, and they are. This is going to make about 16 bars. Okay, so that's it pressed down and that's it smooth. This is now going to go in the freezer for 15 minutes. I'm just going to pop it in there for 15 minutes and I'll show you what it looks like at the end of that. Okay, it's been 15 minutes. Let's see what we've got. There is your training bar. And I am just going to cut these now. Into bar sizes, and that's a pretty good bar size for Joe.
Training bars, I smell them.
Next batch.
All right.
Fresh. Easy to cut. Now these will these will store in a Tupperware container for a good 2 weeks, and they freeze for 2 weeks. So each of these bars has, well, depending on what size you cut them, your average size will have 180 calories, 26 grams of carbohydrate, of which 7 is sugars. So that means the majority of the carbohydrate in these bars are complex carbohydrate. It's got 3.5 grams of protein and about 7 grams of fat. So when it comes to performance, these are perfect. These bars pack the same kind of calorie punch as a granola bar, but with half the simple sugars.